heard them loads of times now
Exactly.
already, yeah. Hang on, let's see. Oh, yeah, what's your favourite city? Any city or place in particular you like to play in?
Well,
I suppose Italy, Napoli.
Napoli's a big one for me. Napoli's a great one. I mean, for obvious reasons. Paris, Naples. Athens on the top of the mountain.
Yeah,
it's a great fucking city. We seem to have the place we seem to have a real connection with people outside of the UK, probably more than the UK.
Yeah,
I think we always have it.
France.
Bristol's good. Bristol, Paris, Dublin, Glasgow, Lisbon, and Athens. A fucking 6 places I can think, and Napoli. 7 places. Well, on top of my head, I go right. We always connect. There's always a fucking. There's always an understanding or some sort of bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which we found out. Dublin when we did the Point the first time was in
the Point is just a big warehouse now. I didn't. It's not. It's the O2 now, but this is much better. I think it's far more intimate.
Yeah, of course.
Olympia, yeah. Like you played here, I think, back in '98, didn't you?
No.
At the beginning, did you not? You didn't, die.
No, everyone said we played. I said we didn't play here. We must play somewhere else.
I've seen that in the fixtures. It must be wrong then. Okay, right. Would you be doing Bristol next year? Because it's absent from the fixture list at the minute.
Swindon, man.
The closest thing to it, was it?
The capital of culture in the West Country.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, Yeah. I mean, I think even playing a dodgy leisure centre in Swindon has got more has a higher rate of moral fibre than playing the Colston Hall. But it's 18 million pounds worth of foyer.
I know you've spoken a bit about that Colston Hall, isn't it? Some link to slave trade.
Yeah, it is. I'll be in 10 minutes, babes.
Yeah.
It's like. Yeah, it's basically Bristol. Bristol made itself very rich in the slave trade, as everyone knows. Colston was one of the biggest ship makers, and the merchant ventures of Bristol lobbied hard with London to get the right to slaves because it was worth such a lot of money to Bristol as a port. And I just feel that if they're going to fucking redo the Colston Hall or rebuild it, there should be some acknowledgement to the West African cities that they took the slaves from into the Caribbean. Took the Colston Hall and the new fucking sort of the Freetown Centre or something. Something which has some kind of connection rather than Tipexing it out.
Yeah. Getting more topical, like I want to get into a little bit of politics here, but any kind of for some reason I kind of fancy you as being a bit of a Euro skeptic. Just talking about in Ireland, like
skeptic?
A Euro skeptic.
Euro skeptic.
I'm kind of just getting because last week, the whole Lisbon thing. Like what way would you have wavered there?
I can see why. After the crisis, why you wouldn't want to be isolated as an economy.
It felt very undemocratic, though. Even disregarding what's in the treaty. I know that sounds bad, but it just seemed wrong to me.
The problem with this fucking sort of
because all the major parties and all the big businesses were all for it, so that actually kind of weighs me along. Like the average guy in the street is going to lose out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's hard to say, but you have much of an opinion on that,
I haven't got a great deal of opinion on that because I mean,
now David Cameron says if he's leader next year, he'll give it to the British people now. That's been in the news. David Cameron, he's been saying that.
It's a tough one, man. It's very strange ground, isn't it? Because we started something, we can't end it. I mean, it's something that's been growing. What you can do suddenly, kind of,
Yeah. But getting back, I guess, to the here.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh, sorry.
What do you think about John O'Donoghue's expenses then?
We're talking about the can cola here. Yeah, I heard a bit about that. I can't
believe how much fucking money spent. €900,000.
Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't have turned much of a blind eye if it hadn't been in this huge recession.
Well, that's funny how the fuck that was happening.
Ireland has been hit pretty bad now in this recession. I think many worse than any other country in Western Europe.
Well, because it was borrowing so much money, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
And our whole.
Jello. What's that, bro? Not quite. No. Do you want to come in if you want, man?
5 minutes, is it? 5 more minutes. Okay. Because our whole economy was all built on that property thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, every time I came into Dublin, or if we went to an electric picnic, flew in. I couldn't fucking believe the journey from the airport. It was just non-stop building all the way to fucking where I can't remember.
Now there's a load of empty kind of lots now, kind of happening.
To let on every other building above every shop.
I will. We'll get back onto the music because we've got 5 years. So.
Hello, mate. Yeah, cool.
Just 5 years. Just get back to the. Actually, I got a few questions from fans on message boards.
Okay, let's do those then.
Go do that. Yeah, this is from Kaz in Australia and T-Jax in America. Yeah, they're saying, you ever going to release some of the songs like Why or Just a Matter of Time? Because there are quite a few fan favourites now.
Christ, man, I mean,
You know.
the problem is with all those things is where they live and when it exists, because this is pre-Pro Tools.
Yeah, okay.
So
right.
you can't just go and find them on a drive, you've got to find them on a tape somewhere. And then you've got to fit a multi-track, and you've got to try and get the multi-track up to sort of like to remix it.
Right.
Otherwise, all you're going to do is be copying an analog file onto a track onto a digital fucking machine.
Were you trying to get Just a Matter of Time onto Collected or something, were you? You wound that problem?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We had so many things to go on Collected, and we could be fucked in it. It was like,
like, is there ever going to be a Collected Mark II in a couple of years with like all the other stuff left over?
I think what we'll probably do, to be honest, is put the best quality files online and let them and free online. You know.
Okay, right. Okay.
It's alright, man. Come in.
And let's see. Well, yeah. How many albums have you got left on EMI on the contract?
It's as long as a piece of string. We got one more left, but whether EMI's around to sort of survive that fucking process, it depends how many years we decide to take over that. I mean, EMI might be a completely different kettle of fish by then.
Is it right?
I really don't know whether they'll still be.
Did Collected? Was that one of the? Did that count for the contract? Collected.
Collected was a contractual obligation.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, look, let's just do it now. Let's do it for a multitude of reasons. And the main one being that we fulfil our obligations. We naively thought that because what was happening to the company in its merging, demerging, sort of like sort of cycle of destruction, we might be lucky ones and be treated as collateral damage and be let go. Yeah. And by getting Collected out of the way, it meant that we had no more obligations, and it wouldn't happen to what EMI did with Radiohead by releasing a post album, without their kind of their contribution or sort of like I suppose blessing really, and do some shit, So we thought, let's get it out of the way, and then hopefully, we might be fucking free agents, but that hasn't quite happened.
Right. All the soundtrack stuff you've done the last few years, like, this story actually about the quality of the films. Which one was your favourite?
There's only one in there, Gomorrah.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's the film that I think's the. And ironically, that's the one film when I met a director, I told him he didn't need any music. Yeah. And he ended up agreeing. Right. Okay. Because I tried it, we tried a few things for a few scenes and it destroyed it. The spell was broken. I mean, immediately you put a sort of a chord in or anything. It's like, well, where's this taking me? You know what I mean? It's like, fucking, so it's great as it is. Don't fuck with it.
It is a good film.
The other films. I mean, there's some great things. Bullet Boy's great.
Bullet Boy was good. I thought Danny the Dog though not too much. I thought that was just
Danny Dog's fun. Danny Dog's a fun movie.
Okay. I kind of just saw it as getting your foot in the door, like music.
It was more than the foot in the door. It was more of a challenge. Yeah. Louis Leterrier came along just we finished the tour on 100th Window, and it was like, fucking why not? We're talking about doing a full film, and he's a lovely guy. The thing about Louis is he's the only director I think apart from Matteo Garrone that you really went, this is the man. Matteo and him, both really very very soulful people. I mean, Batman in Seattle was an adventure.
I haven't seen that one though.
But I think In Prison My Whole Life, Bullet Boy, Trouble the Water, all good, all really very worthy projects.
Actually, just hang on back to the album. I just remembered I was like, have you got something in mind at least for the name of it? Like, do you usually not come up with the names until the way at the very end?
I've got a name for it.
You wanna give it out now or what?
I don't know if when are you publishing this?
Probably by the weekend, world exclusive, was that? No, that's alright. If you don't want to give it out now.
I've got a name for it, but I don't know if the world's ready for it because we might want to. Any reason I say that? Not because we're trying to be exclusive, but because I might want it to appear with the image, as so you get like the title and the image at the same time.
What's the image we got to be like? I suppose it might be hard to describe that in words, is it?
Well, I'm trying to create on this album and from the sleeve is a kind of like a map of a place, sort of real but fictitious, populated. And the thing about this album was it started to feel that every track had a different personality, but it all came from some fucking weird place, somewhere, and all somehow were connected. And I like the idea of that being, whether it's Bristol in 1983, fucking lost in time, whether it's somewhere in the fucking near future, I don't know.